Welcome everybody to Philadelphia for the final game of the regular season. Philadelphia hosting your Minnesota Vikings. So we will set to kick off the game here. Both teams wearing some alternate classic uniforms here today. And hopefully it goes a bit better than the last time. We wore some throwback unis. I believe that was our loss against the Falcons that ended up, you guys weren't able to see, unfortunately, due to OBS being weird. But we need a victory here today. I would love to get Saunders to 30 touchdowns on the season. Definitely want to get 2 of those to Flanagan, give him 10 on the season. However, saying that, I know last week we wanted to focus, or last game, we wanted to focus on Saunders, and he threw a lot of interceptions. So it's not going to be strictly passing. We are going to also have Dalvin running the ball as well. But I don't want to forget about trying to get... The goal is 3 touchdown passes. That's what we want. We want 2 of them to be to Flanagan. The other one can go to anyone else. But we also are wanting to be smart about it, and I'm going to tap the X button to slide instead of holding it to dive. But the focus here on offense is short passes, some slants, some drags. We're going to also hand the ball off to Dalvin and see what we could do from there. Or take the sack, because I didn't see anyone open that was in a window that we like. Fletcher Cox does get in here, and he gets the sack. Now, the Eagles and Vikings have a little bit of recent history, and most of that history I don't like. So I'm hoping we could have something good here for us. We're going to find Flanagan across the middle, try to get the block there from Chark. Can he outrun everyone? No, he can't, but he gets all the way down to the 3. And it looks like Sweat comes up a little injured for the Eagles. We'll see if he ends up returning to the game. But huge catch and run. Nice pickup of the block there by Chark, setting us down at the goal line. And it does look like Sweat's going to head to the locker room, so it's not looking too positive for him. So like I said, I would love to get Flanagan another touchdown. So I think to do that, we're going to try to send him on a bit of a flat route. Not liking what we see, going to roll out. And we're going to set up a 2nd and goal from the 10. Granted, that loss could be to our benefit here. Going to just shorten the route a little bit for Flanagan. Going to send Cook over to the other side if it'll let me. Not going to. Fine. Let's see what we can do here. Not liking what I see. I see Jefferson. Are you kidding me? A diving interception in the end zone? Come on, Slay. Come on. And I feel like that's what a lot of interceptions for Saunders have been this year. Just fantastic plays by the defense. I mean, a diving interception in the end zone, taking the pass away from a wide open receiver, as we just completely whiff on all tackles there. Luckily, he trips. Bad. That was a bad first play. However, we do have Hunter back in this game, and we do also have... I believe it was Tomlinson, maybe it was Wanham that came back. We do get the sack. Ball pops up. Eric Kendricks, one hand, picks it up and is tackled, and we're going to take the ball right back. That's what we needed. Nice comeback there, getting that sack fumble. You see just... Okay, we don't see the sack, but we see Eric Kendricks pick it up with one hand, and we'll take over from, I think it was about the 25. All right, so what? That's now basically 0 turnovers on the game. Can we just erase that? Keep the clock where it is, though. Going to see if we could go deep to Flanagan. He does. Massa guy fights into the end zone and gets one of those touchdowns. I forced it there a little bit there, but hey, Flanagan, he did what he needed to do. Also, bottom of the screen, Daniil Hunter, 31 sacks on the season. How insane is that? Yeah, we definitely were living on a prayer here. That was a one-hand snag. But the second hand came up late to secure the catch, but he gets it and powers through some of those guys. That's, I think, the tank activating from his superstar ability. There we go. First points on the game for the Vikings. We haven't done that, I think, the last 2 games. The other teams have scored field goals, but we're going to go up 7-zip with about 4 minutes left in this game. Or not in this game, in the first quarter. It'd be crazy if it was the game. And also how fitting that Daniil Hunter gets that sack fumble while we're wearing the uniforms that I am pretty sure the Purple People Eaters wore. Because they don't get the good block, but we don't get the tackle whiffed on that completely. Can we stop whiffing on tackles, defense? I would really appreciate that. Gonna scoot the line over towards the right here. try to fill in the gap. Yep, Wanham is back, and he gets the tackle for loss. Going to be a loss of maybe 2 or so. Going to set up a 3rd and short. And on 3rd and short, coming out in the double A gap look here, I moved the cornerbacks down, having them play press. Going to try to see if I could get in with Daniil. No, didn't need to. Hurts just runs into his own lineman, tries to throw it, and the ball goes maybe 4 yards and hits the turf. We're going to send Nwangwu back to return this punt, see if we could get anything splashy here. Had some decent blocks, breaks 1 tackle, falls forward. We're going to start at 35. Pretty good starting point for us. On 1st down here, we're going to come out with our 3 tight end set. Going to follow behind them, see what we're able to do. Dalvin cuts up, gets a gain of about 5. Or not, just kidding. It might have been a gain of only 3. Felt like much more than that. We're going to change a little bit of what we're doing here. I want to send Flanagan deep. Also going to have Jefferson as an option to go deep. He does not. We have Flanagan kind of open. Saunders gets the pass out, falls well short. Saunders is a little bit tired there, but the last time we brought in Munn to run, it was a sack of like 20 yards. So not going to do that. Going to instead find Thielen wide open, see if we can try to get the corner closer to a blocker, but no, Thielen rounds the corner down to the 5 and into the end zone. Haven't seen him run like that in a while, but that's now over 750 yards on the season and the 2nd passing touchdown for Saunders on the game. Now I know slants are supposed to be a 1-2 step drop and throw, but I always love throwing slants to that 2nd window after they cross. I always feel like that's the higher chance of a big play, especially in Madden. And it looks like Cole comes up a bit shaken up for the Philadelphia Eagles, one of their offensive linemen. And he also was heading into the locker room, so it doesn't look like he'll be back at least for a little while, if at all. So with one of the linemen going out, we're going to bring the blitz. See if we could hit home. We hit, but we don't get home. They get a nice pass down the middle. Tight end breaks the tackle. I believe that's Goddard. Yeah, he breaks the tackle, gets down to about the 50. And does anyone else think of Goddard from Jimmy Neutron when they hear of Goddard, the tight end from Philadelphia? Or is that just me? Might just be me. Try to cover these guys. Hurts is going to scramble. Dantzler there to make him slide. And that's what we were focusing on with our defense this game, is avoiding the quarterback scramble, because I know Hurts can do it and can do it well. And we get the pick. Somehow McCourty ends up with it. He's heading to the outside, going down in between the sideline and the numbers. I don't think anyone's going to catch him. He's into the end zone. Big turnaround from the first possession here. We are now up, was it 21 zip? Yep, 21 zip. Nice pick there by McCourty. Almost drops it. Comes in, hits him in a not very nice place, but he finishes the play. You know, if this rate continues and we end up going into halftime up 42 zip, I would definitely like to bring in some backups to avoid any potential injuries going into the playoffs. We do get a stop on a 4-down run there. I would definitely like to try to sub some guys out if possible, just so we could go into the postseason as healthy as possible. But of course, that all depends on how the team continues to play. We get a nice pass break up there from Kendricks. And Philadelphia, another guy comes up shaken up. That's Dickerson, who I believe is either their center or their guard. So let's make an adjustment here and let's bring some heavy blitz. Hurts does a good job of getting that pass out quick to Goddard. Bark, bark. And as we start the second quarter here, 2 receivers to the left or right, 1 to the left. We're going to come out in our double A gap blitz here. See if Hunter can hit home. Now they're going to run. Hunter does get the hit there on Saunders after going behind the line. Only a gain of 3. Not too bad for the first play. I don't like the play we had called for this formation, so we're going to make a slight adjustment. Come out into a cover 6. And no one's covering the underneath there. Dantzler gets the tackle after he almost let loose, but they do get a good chunk for a first down. Come out here with a man blitz. I don't feel like I've run too much man blitz this year. They're going to run to the outside. Luckily, Poole there to get the tackle in the backfield. Loss of 6 on that sweep. And on 2nd and long, going to come out in a cover 3. Going to give a bit of some padding here. Move the lineman over, balance up the front. And they hit us on the switch, getting it to Goddard. Goddard's definitely been their #1 guy, but he's shaken up on the play, looking like a hip or leg injury, maybe lower back as well. And he too went to the locker room, so really not looking good for Philadelphia. Already have lost 3 guys to the locker room. However, they power through, at least on that 3rd down, get the 1st down. I'm going to make a adjustment here. Did not like the formation we were in. Change up to our base form here. Going to cover the guy crossing the middle. The guy that comes in at tight ends catches the ball but then steps right out, only a gain of 1. Bringing it to a 2nd and 9. They're in a spread formation, 4 receivers out. Some of them are tight ends. They're going to run the ball to Saunders. We get a nice cut there from Kendricks, leaving Smith open to get that big hit. Let's see if we can bring a bit of a blitz here. Make sure we stay to the outside with our line. I'm going to check what I wanted to do there. Try to come back and cover the tight end. I knew that's where they were going, but not able to get there in time. And now Michael Pierce comes up a little shaken up. Lucky for us, Pierce not heading to the sidelines, but that brings up Watts as he's returned from injury after being injured earlier in the season, and he almost gets the sack, but it's just thrown away. Here's the update: Michael Pierce, elbow bursitis, so we're going to keep him out. No need to push our luck here. We're in the playoffs for sure. We're just fighting for ranking. Eagles come out with a 3 tight ends shotgun set. 1 receiver to the left. They go to one of their tight ends who cannot hold on to it. Just kidding, that's a lineman. And I am by no means saying linemen can't catch, because they definitely can, but 77 does not, and it brings up a 3rd and 10. As Verrett does get the tackle, Saunders with the catch, or Sanders, not sure how, I think his is Sanders, with the catch, going to bring up a 4th and 2. And they will bring out the field goal team, kicking from about the 13-yard line, so a 23-yard field goal here. That is up and good, right down the middle, giving Philadelphia their first points of the game, 21-3. And Philadelphia was able to drain quite a bit of the clock, only about half of the 2nd quarter left, so not sure we're going to hit the same 21 points we did in the first. However, we have a nice run from Dalvin, gets about, 15 some odd on that play, setting us up at the 43. Change a little bit there. I would love to hit Thielen here, but he is being covered by Darius Slay, so we might end up checking this down. We have Jefferson open, but just overthrown by about 2 to 3 yards. I'm going to change it up a little bit here. Going to continue to send Thielen downfield. Going to run ham on a wheel route. Let's see what opens up here. Have a couple guys. Let's see if we could hit. Yep, we do get Jefferson. Throws the ball inside. And now Bradbury comes up limping, which is not good. So for right now, it looks like they've brought Clayton in, who's a tackle, to play center instead of moving over Dalton Smith. We'll see if they continue with that. And I was worried that was going to happen. I was worried. Thought we had an open receiver. I wasn't sure who was going to get the pass off in time. The lineman did not get the block. And that's a fumble. Philadelphia's ball. Really unfortunate there. Vikings had done very well on offense. Only had 1 turnover prior to, but we averaged probably about 2 to 3 a game, so about on par right now. Hurts is going to scramble, just run through Harrison Smith, but Kendricks gets the tackle. And there's the update we have on Bradbury. So I'm going to substitute Smith in, and we might end up needing to make a manual change. We'll get Ezra Cleveland back in at guard, Smith at center, and all that will need to be done most likely in the second half, unless we end up forcing a turnover or get the ball with a little bit of time left in the second half here. I knew they were going to the outside guy, try to get back there with Smith, not able to get there in time. They do get the completion down to the 28. We're running a lot of slants. That was ours, and not able to get the pick, but we swatted down at least. Was definitely open to get the pick there, but we don't get in a good position, I guess. Kendricks just swats that away. Well, we might have the option here. Nope, they check down to the outside. Sanders out of bounds at the 23. And somehow, I didn't see it. Did you guys see it? Wanham injured, torn labrum, so most likely his season's done. Really unfortunate going into the playoffs. Would love to have a healthy D-line. Of course, with our record, that's not very often that we do have that. Harrison Smith slows him down, forces him out at the 22. So the field goal team will take the field. Just under a minute left in this first half. And they get it off, get it up, and it's through right down the middle. Really don't think there's much in terms of blocking kicks in Madden 22. So Bradbury was cleared to come back to play. However, we don't want to push our luck. So Smith is going to take over in the middle at center. We find Flanagan across the middle, wide open. No one is going to catch him, I hope, and he dives or falls into the end zone, giving us a quick answer. Flanagan's second touchdown on the day, 10th on the season, and 3 passing touchdowns during this game. So we reached our goal. Maybe we could even exceed our goal. But as I was saying, Smith is in at center, Ezra Cleveland at left guard, and we are in quick to widen our lead. And with the injury to Wanham, Ibukum will be the main right edge guy for us. However, in rushing downs, I have made a slight change. I have moved Anthony Barr to be the number 2 in case Wanham needs a break, as Philadelphia calls their first time out. But yeah, I've moved Barr to be number 2 just because he has better skills than our backup defensive ends. So he will be the number 2 there, as they do get a pass to, I believe it was to 16. So I think it was 16, yeah, it looks like it was to 16 for a completion. Verrett not able to knock that one away. There's 30 seconds left in the half, and they're just finding guys wide open. Come on, defense, make a play. Clock runs down. They're going to call their last timeout and send out the field goal unit. Definitely could have been avoided with some better play by the defense, but they left guys wide open. However, it's just a field goal, and a pretty long one at that. Looks like it's squeaking back in. He does get it to curve back in. That field goal is good, putting the score at 28-9. And normally I would try to get a chunk play, but we've had some injuries in this game, wanting to avoid that. We'll take the knee, and we'll head into halftime up 28-9. And as we head into the locker room here, we see that we're up in terms of passing yards. Rushing is pretty similar. Takeaways tied. We're just averaging more yards a play, which is giving us the edge. And let's take a look around the league, see if maybe we could get to Seattle. Bears, Miami. Miami up 14-3, but we need Seattle. Come on. Yes, we do get a Seattle, New York update. So far, Seattle's up 17-7 going into half. We need to keep an eye on that bottom screen, the little bar that goes across the bottom. See if maybe the Giants can help us out, because we need Seattle to lose. And last random team we'll check out here, 7-7 Jaguars Broncos tied going into halftime. And as we head into the second half here, we're going to be kicking the ball off. We're also going to be keeping an eye at the bottom there. We see they are still, Seattle still hasn't gone into halftime. They're still up 17-7, but we'll need to keep an eye on that down below. However, of course, we still need to win the game. Right now, we have been playing pretty well, or so far we've been playing pretty well, up 28-9. Or we've given up some bad plays here and there. We're not covering the underneath guys for sure. And say get about a gain of 8 on first. And also, is it just me, or does the Eagles head coach in this game look a bit like Harrison Smith? Maybe it's just me. We do get a tackle close to the backfield by Joyner, about at the line of scrimmage. And on 3rd and short, let's continue what we've been doing here, doing a double A-gap blitz. See if we could hit home with Daniil. He doesn't get around the edge. We do get the pass breakup, though, by Poole. And in doing so, the punting team for the Eagles heads out here. They'll be punting deep from about the 20-yard line, so pretty deep in their territory. Not the deepest, obviously. But Nwangu gets the return here. Not able to do much, and a flag hits the turf. That's going to be holding it to back us up a bit. To start the second half for our offense, we're going to come out here in a spread look. They're in a double A-gap blitz look. I don't know if they really blitzed or if it was just the fact that it was a run, but we're going to get about a gain of 3 on that first down carry. And we're actually going to go ahead and start running the clock early in this game. We're up 28 to 9. We want to have as few injuries as possible. This is the last game of the season. So let's drain the clock, get the W. Hopefully New York can pull through for us, and we will be off to the playoffs. I do, however, want to have Flanagan maybe leak out the backside late. Didn't like what I see there. I'm just going to scramble here, tap the X, slide down, and we'll go from the 40. Haven't looked much at the line. Looks like we have the advantage in at least 3 of the 5 positions. Run to the outside. I wanted you to cut inside. He does break the tackle, and there's that thing that we do. Feels like every time we break a tackle, shortly after we just fall over. I don't know if it's a stamina thing. I don't really look at the stamina bar when that happens, but it could be a stamina thing. Saunders again just going to roll out, scramble, get the first, and get down. Let's see if we could hit Jefferson deep maybe on this play. Bit of play action here. Not liking what I see. I was going to go to the running back, but then he cut up field. Going to scramble, get a gain of a couple, and tackled inbounds. It's a gain of 4. And I believe after that play, we need to chill it a little bit. Saunders is a little tired here. So we'll hit the run here. Try to cut up field, break a tackle, get close to the first down. And of course, we haven't seen much of Ham yet this game. So we're going to continue to feed him a little bit here and there, especially on those 3rd and short. He's fighting for it. Gotta love the play that he's given us this year. See if we can run a bit more of some play action. Not really looking for Jefferson as he's on Slay. Maybe Thielen. Might check it down to Flanagan. Flanagan is open. Going to hit him on the run. Turn up. Try to run through a guy. He would have been in if he had a few more yards on the sideline, but down to the 1. Not sure this is a great call here, but I would love to hit Flanagan again. He gets the catch, but falls out of the end zone. We're actually going to lose a yard on that play as the quarter hits the end. Now, of course, Madden is a little bit different. It doesn't have the whole catch in the end zone, but then fall out of. But since it was caught in the end zone, it would have been a touchdown. They do not have that. We're going to Thielen, giving him another one on this season, as well as Sanders. Going to put us up, was it about 35 to 9? Yeah, 35 to 9. Just 3 seconds into the 4th. Eagles come out here on first down with 3 receivers to the left, including a tight end. As one of the 3. Not like 4 guys to the outside. Hurts is going to scramble, breaks a tackle, and then gets smacked by Dantzler. Rear left, that might have been a flag, but none here. First down for the Eagles. And of course, we're going to bring a bit of a blitz. Would love to force some craziness around Hurts. We get right off the edge from Daniil. And I think I fat-fingered the pause button. However, we're still getting the sack. Nice job, Daniil. 45th tackle this season. I think that's what that said. However, he's pretty close, I think, to 35 or so sacks on the season. So not much tackles other than sacks, I guess, for Daniil. However, if you have 30-plus sacks, I think it's all right. If you don't have much more other tackles, I'm going to check for a pass here. Come across here with Kendricks, get the hit, and another lineman for Philadelphia down on this play. I know earlier in the season when I had checked the playoffs that the Eagles, I think, were maybe in. It was like the 7th seed. I don't know if they currently are. If they are, they're definitely going to go into the postseason with a injured roster, to say the least, or a very unhealthy one, if the players do come back in time. And Harrison Smith with the pick. Tries to get to the outside, but gets stopped by his own teammates. We're going to set up here at the 41 with about 5.5 minutes left in the season, or at least regular season. And of course, we are chewing the clock. We would love to see this be the last possession for us on offense, maybe a short possession by the Eagles to finish this game. You get a decent run there by Dalvin. I say decent. It was a gain of 5, so it was a good run. Also need to get Madison in here a little bit as well. Get Cook out so that way he stays healthy, but he's running well. But I think that will probably be his last play on offense. And with that play, Dalvin heads to the sidelines. He's had a great regular season for us. We're going to let Madison come in here, finish it out. We'll also see a bit of Nwangwu as well in the shotgun forms. And as I say that, I decide, let's show you instead. So we're going to bring Nwangwu out here on second and long. Doesn't quite get the blocks that we would have liked, but he finds the gap and does get a gain of 7. Going to bring up a 3rd and 3, and they're in a double A gap look here. This could go very well for us. He finds the gap. Defensive lineman does get his hands on him, slow him down. Only a gain of, I don't know, about 6-ish, maybe 5. First down for the Vikings. Also, let's give a little bit of CJ Ham love. Give him the ball on first down here. Let this clock drain. He does find a nice cutback, and he's in. We wanted to drain the clock, but Ham wanted a touchdown. We'll give it to him. He's done well for us this year, putting us up 42-9. And with a little over 2 minutes left in the regular season, at least for these two teams, we're going to see what our defense can do, if the Eagles are able to get a touchdown on the day or not. And Hurts is going to roll out, slide down, and I have been forgetting to take a look at the bottom. Hopefully we'll see an update shortly on the Seattle game. So far right now, it's just telling us some of the games happening later in the day. Of course, we are more worried about the Seattle game. Also not really too worried about this game, as we do get a nice tackle there by Joyner on that screen pass. And with that tackle, it brings us to 3rd and 9. Most likely going to be a pass, so let's spread out the D-line. And they are going to set up a screen pass. We're going to run towards the sideline, cut off Sanders, get the tackle. There's the update, 24-17, so it is within striking distance for the Giants to at least tie it, over there's only about 4.5 minutes left in their game. And in this game, Eagles going to go for it on 4th and 5. I'm going to bring down some guys here. They're going to try to set up another screen pass. Pierce just goes in and just flips over Hurts. We get the ball with 59 seconds left. Part of me says run the game out. Another part of me says throw it to Flanagan. So let's see what we could do here. Not a good pass to throw there. We're just going to roll out. Tap the X, slide down. Let the clock drain a bit. Doesn't mean that we're not going to try it again. Going to bring the time down to 20 seconds and counting. And let this get all the way down to the 1 on the play clock here and snap the ball. And Flanagan in the corner. Out of bounds, but hey, flag, that's going to be defensive pass interference. And it's going to put us right there. It's a little cheeky, but hey, why not? Let's see what we could do here. Going to get Flanagan on the underneath. Definitely running up the score here. 11 touchdowns on the season for Flanagan. I believe 31 for Sanders or Saunders or however you want to pronounce his name. There's a U after the A, so I like to say Saunders. And to make things a little interesting on the last play, I did an onside kick just because I want them to chuck the ball up and I want to see if we could make a play here. Ends up being up rather short. They get the catch. Clock hits 0. We take the last game up 40 points, 49-9, giving us the victory. I didn't take a look at the bottom of the screen during the end there, so we're going to still need to take a look at that Seattle game. Hopefully, we have some good news. With that game over, we do have a couple upgrades we need to do. Always just go with accuracy because it's more likely to get a kick accuracy boost than a kick power. So we do get that boost there. Bradbury also with a boost. We'll do a bit of power for him. And he does get run block +3. So what he's good at gets better. Christian Darrisaw also has an upgrade, and we'll go with power for him. Probably should have went with pass blocker, but yeah, because this run block goes up, which he's already pretty good at. And DJ Wanham, even though he left the game injured, and I believe will be out for the remainder of the season, he gets an upgrade, which is good for his long term. However, only a +1 for the power move. So yeah, you see torn labrum out for 4 weeks, so he would be back in time for a Super Bowl, for sure. But those are his stats. You see he's kind of lower on the number, so not sure what his long-term kind of stretch will be here. But for now, he's playing well. And of course, we need to take a look, maybe see if the Seattle game has already happened, And we don't have the update yet on the Seattle game, so we will have to sim forward into the wild card week to find out where we are, whether we have the bye or if we don't. And as we sim to the wild card round, we see we are set to play against San Francisco, a team we beat a few weeks ago. So we unfortunately did not get that first round bye. I want to take a look here, see how close it was. And as we see down here, they did get the win, 27-20, so they haven't lost since week 6 against the Raiders. They've been rolling, so they will be a tough one to match up against, and I believe it could be us that would go up against them. As we open the playoff bracket here, we see that we are set off, obviously, to play against San Francisco. We're the 2 seed, they're the 7. I believe they would get whoever wins between the 7 and 6 seed, I think, because it doesn't normally go over like how it normally does. So like the 2 teams that are at the right, so us are the 2 winners. So in our game, and then the Bucks and Cowboys game, that doesn't automatically draw over to the Seattle, kind of gets spread differently. But yeah, Seattle gets the bye. The teams that made it are Seattle, us, San Francisco, Cowboys and Bucks, Panthers, and Packers. So we could possibly end up seeing the Packers. Over on the AFC, Bengals get the bye. Raiders are the number 2 seed. Baltimore 7, Jaguars 3, Titans 6, Miami 4, and the Chiefs 5. So a little mix of what we've seen previously, but also quite a few teams that we haven't seen in a while in the playoffs. So this looks fun. And of course, we know what worked in San Francisco, and that was running the ball. So we'll probably do a bit of that. But before we end this video, let's take a look at what the team was able to do in terms of stats during the season. So Dwight Saunders ends up with 32, almost 3,300 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. So good touchdowns, really bad interceptions. Need to get that down. He completed only 62% of his passes, but I feel like that's about average. He was only sacked 17 times, so about once a game, which isn't bad. And his passer rating, that's what I was looking for, ends up being a 108, or 100.8. Running the ball, Dalvin Cook gets close to 1,200, 17 touchdowns, only 1 fumble. Saunders also ran for 4 more touchdowns. However, he did have 11 more fumbles, so a lot of turnovers for Saunders this year. He did run for a little under 350. Madison, very similar kind of to Saunders in terms of yardage and carries. He did have two rushing touchdowns. And Wongwu, who we didn't really use as a typical running back, 20 attempts, 142 yards, 7.5 yards in average. Pretty good for him. Ham had 4 touchdowns, 132 yards. Mund had 44 rushing yards on a couple random ones, but 2 fumbles. So not great there. Receiving, we didn't have any 1,000-yard receivers. Granted, if we had 15-minute quarters, we definitely would have. Justin Jefferson ends up as the leading receiver for us, 870 yards, 7 touchdowns on 44 receptions. Adam Thielen, 100 yards underneath him at 770 for 8 touchdowns, only 47 receptions. So he had the most receptions for us. Flanagan, the rookie, 41 receptions, 763 yards. Our leading tight end, or obviously leading tight end, our leading touchdown reception guy this year at 11. So fantastic rookie year for him. DJ Chark, 21 for 525, 4 touchdowns. He played okay. Nothing fantastic for him. Not sure we would continue with his contract past its end. So I believe we signed him for a 2-year. So we'll see there. Might end up being maybe trade bait. Granted, there's not a whole lot of receivers that I like in this draft class. Blocking wise, Christian Darrisaw as our worst quote-unquote lineman at 4 sacks this year. It's pretty good. Over on defense, after moving Harrison Smith down to the linebacker spot, he ends up becoming our leading tackler with 117 on the season, 10 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 4 interceptions. So a fantastic year for him. Eric Kendricks right behind at 106 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 2.5 sacks, and another 4 interceptions. In terms of tackles for loss, Harrison Smith did lead the team with 10. Kendricks at 9. Sacks, you know, is going to be led by Danielle Hunter, 32.5 sacks. Closest one behind him, down at 6.5, Wanham, who had a decent season, also had 4 tackles for a loss. Harrison Smith had the 4. Tomlinson had 4. Ibukam only had 3. 2.5 for Kendricks and Joseph. 2 for Pierce. And then 1 for McCourty, Barr, and Verrett. In terms of interceptions, I feel like we had quite a few this year. 4 for Harrison Smith, Eric Kendricks, and Devin McCourty. 3 for Brian Poole and Joyner. And then 1 for Verrett and Dantzler. And then we take a look over at forced fumbles. Harrison Smith led again, 6 for Harrison Smith, 3 for Danielle Hunter, so that's 9. 10 or 1 were for Joyner, up to 10. Ibukam had 1, that's 11. Pierce had 1, that's 12. And Barr had 1, so 13 forced fumbles, and we recovered 8 of them. So could have done better there, but overall, not bad. In terms of the kicking game, we did not miss a single kick this year, whether extra point or field goal. Koo hits 10 out of 10 for his field goals and 62 of 62 for extra points. He had 3 from 29 yards, 2 from 39, hit 4 from 49, and then 1 from 50 or more. So pretty good season for him, and that's why we paid him the money that we did. Punting-wise, did well. Kick returns over 1,000 yards, 1,100 for Nwangwu, no touchdowns. Punting, only 100 yards, no touchdowns. However, unfortunately, only 31st offense. However, that's never going to be extremely high, considering that we play on less amount of time, so our stats are just going to be lower. But we did have the number 1 defense, 5th in points scored, and 1st in points allowed. So overall, pretty good, and that's why we are in the playoffs. Unfortunately, we missed out to Seattle. If we just happened to manage to win maybe one more game, we would have had the bye. But a 14-3 record, really weird saying that, but a 14-3 record, probably, I think, one of the best in recent history for the Vikings. But you're going to need to stick around to see how long we can continue this, if we can get our guys a ring before a lot of them end up leaving. So make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing to continue watching, and hitting that bell notification to be notified of when these are posted. You can also check me out on Twitter, BigBearB_Gaming. I'll let you know whenever we post. I always send a link, so you could just watch straight from there, whatever you prefer. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, bye.